Assalamualaikum, Madam Dina. Today we will be presenting about panic buying. So this is our group mate Anis, Alia and myself Sophea. So I'm going to present first 1.0, which is Introduction to Panic Buying. What is panic buying? Panic buying, or other word is panic purchasing, ensue when consumer purchase a large amount of product. This situation occurs when there is a calamity in the region, whether it is existent or just predicted. As a result, buyers worry about the availability of necessities, so they flood the stores and purchase additional products than they usually do. Next slide. We move on to point 1.1, which is what causes panic buying. First, panic buying is a sort of buying behavior characterized by a sudden increase in purchasing volume. Panic buying from a macro perspective reduce supply while increasing demand, resulting in decreased price inflation. Fear of missing out caused by a short squeeze on a micro level, as investment markets can intensify panic purchasing. Secondly, the cause of panic buying is the fear of a shortage of goods. Panic buying differs from panic selling, which occurs when producers sell a product in huge quantities, forcing the price down, usually due to a fear of market crash. For example, hyperinflation in Germany and Austria in 1920 prompted panicky purchases of almost everything. Consumers rushed to purchase goods before hyperinflation drove up costs, making them unaffordable. Thirdly, the cause of panic buying is people typically suffer mental distress, such as worry and worries as a result of the horror of the unknown during a health crisis. One of the examples, an image uploaded in social media shows that shops no longer supply or out of stock. Some shelves are missing, which is unusual. People are constantly sharing the photos on social media. Many other photos are shared, and the initial signal is believed. The idea that the ability of norm has been broken is spreading like a virus. More people are feeling out of control and panic buying to keep themselves from violating the norm. As a result of this behavior, most store shelves are unoccupied as customers hunt for things. This has an impact especially on consumers who have not yet made a panic purchase. As a result, more products are purchased and more product lines are cleared. Lastly, the cause of panic buying is coping mechanism, as purchasing huge quantities of consumer goods is ineffective because it does not reduce or even increase product shortage. It does provide individuals with a sense of indirect influence over the issue. Done for the causes of panic buying. Next slide. Now I move on to point 1.2, panic buying in Malaysia. On 16 March 2020, Tan Sri Modi Yassin, our current Prime Minister, announced the very first lockdown in Malaysia because of the COVID-19 disease pandemic that will be effective on 18 March 2020. Not all Malaysians were aware of the lockdown situation, especially when they never experienced the lockdown itself. As a result, panic buying happened. As we can see here, these are the consumers from Selangor, Pahang and Perak express their feeling about what happened in the time situation. Firstly, in Bangsa Selangor, the shelves were empty with no stock at all, while in Kuantan Pahang, groceries like canned food and instant noodles had started flying off grocery shelves. Some of them began stockpiling essential a week before. Lastly, in Ipoh Perak, checks at supermarket, pharmacies and convenience stores found that supplies of face masks and hand sanitizer were running short. Both items were in high demand and pharmacies are unable to accommodate individuals who wish to purchase in quantity. To ensure that everyone can buy it, some pharmacies only sell face masks in modest quantities, which is 1 or 2 pieces only. And we can see here too, this is the statistic of how many people in Malaysia panic buying because of COVID-19 broken down by age. The younger generation at the age 16 to 34 are more prone to panic buying, leading to a 34% rate. Most of them have a hectic life because of the majority of them are students, parents, have a family and a job. On the other hand, the older generation was less involved in the panic buying situation, particularly when they did not have the stamina to buy as much as the younger generation. Finally, the majority of Malaysians, from the youngest to the oldest, did not engage in panic buying, with a percentage ranging from 76 to 88%, compared to Malaysians who did, with a percentage ranging from 12 to 24%. Okay, that's all from me. For the next slide, I will pass it to Alia.
Thank you, Sophia. Now we'll be moving on analyzing current macroeconomic problems. Next slide. So the first one is 2.1, the effects of panic buying in Malaysia. Based on psychology theory, this panic buying happens because of herd behavior, price and product availability in market, false information on social media, and anxiety situation. Due to these causes, there will be a high demand of goods in production in market, and then hence it will leading to inflation of price in the market. Not only just that, there will be an irresponsible party who are fabricating the price in the market, such as increase the price of rice in the market without even we noticing it, and um, fabricate the products in the market, such as reducing the quantity of the products or just shrug of the quality of the products. For example, there are 48 cases that happen, 48 cases of fraud or face mask that happen in Ipoh, and the total losses is 39,222 ringgit. This panic buying also affecting the one who loses their job and gets unpaid leave. They can even do panic buying without thinking about other expenses such as debts, bills, etc. If they don't even manage their spend wisely, they will not make it until the end. What does it mean? It means that probably for the next month or for the next 2 months, they can't even do shop for groceries. Next slide, 2.2, the inefficiency in the economy. So, logistics and global commerce affecting the businesses who are doing export and import activities because the estimated delivery time needs to extend due to COVID-19. As a consequence, it slows down the manufacturing production of doing the products as the raw material is insufficient. For instance, a general manager of local manufacturer, Mr. David Young, stated that he needs to contact all his customers to extend the delivery dates from Johor Bahru to Singapore. In addition, Malaysian workers who are working in Singapore and Thailand are prohibited from commuting to the countries due to COVID-19 outbreak. As a consequence, it also slows down the manufacturing production as there is a shortage of manpower. And these two, which is logistics and global commerce and employees, affecting by panic buying because when there is a high demands of goods in the market while the production is low, there is a shortage of supply in goods, and panic buying make it worse because the factory can't even produce more. Lastly, Malaysians are panic buying face masks as it is a mandatory due to COVID-19 outbreak. Hence, there is a shortage of supply of face masks, not even at the supermarket only, but at the local manufacturer and the suppliers also don't have the supply of face masks. Next slide, 2.3. Malaysians overspending due to impulse buy. A special online survey has been made to support the daily spending before and during COVID-19. Based on this survey, there is an increase of spending on essential goods such as canned food, so for 18%, pasta and rice 33%, and other than that. While there is also a decrease of spending on non-essential goods such as personal care and beauty products for 18%, alcohol for 33%, and chocolate and sweets for 30%. Next, lower income group. B40 are most likely affected by this panic buying because some of them need to use their savings and some of them use their credit cards too. While panic buying, they can't even make a comparison of price from product A to product B, between product A and product B, and they will just grab everything into the trolley and pay. Lastly, after panic buying, they realize that they wasted their money, their energy, and their time. What happened to the expired food and what happened to the food that they never consumed at all, it will go into the garbage bin. According to Solid Waste and Public Tenancy Management Corporation (SW Corp) Malaysian Federal Territories, there are 2.1 tons of food waste generated in March 2020 in Kuala Lumpur, and in June and July there is 2.2 tons to 2.3 tons of food waste. That's all for analyzing current macroeconomics, which is Malaysian overspending, the inefficiency of economy, and the effects of panic buying in Malaysia. However, there will be a solution for every problem, hence we are looking at the next point from Anis.
Alright, thank you, Alia. Now we will be moving on to how panic buying can be solved during COVID-19. We'll be see by 3.1 the Malaysian government's approach, especially by MAFI and MDTCA. What is MAFI? The Malaysian Agriculture Food Industry, and MDTCA is Malaysian Domestic Trade Consumers Affair. What does MAFI do? Well, they determine the availability of food supply chain, especially food such as rice, poultry, and vegetables, while regulating the amount of markets operating with FAMA. FAMA is the Food Agriculture Marketing Authority. Well, for the availability of food supply chain, they will make sure for the rice production it will be continuous throughout the MCO period. And the markets operating will be is 24 permanent markets, 3 my farms, 14 farmer operating centres and 2 agro bazaars throughout Malaysia. While the MDTCA will control the pricing of goods sold by the wholesaler and traders so that everyone will, the food will be affordable by the public, especially on essential items such as sugar, vegetable oil, wheat flour, rice and hand sanitizers and face masks. How does this pricing of controls happen? By conducting the price of goods using the price control and anti-profiteering mechanism that was regulated in 2018. Here are some pictures showed that by the MTCA and Pharma on regulating the prices at the markets. Now moving with 3.2 other countries' approaches, because panic buying doesn't happen in Malaysia, also all over around the world. But these countries successfully tackled the problem. Firstly, South Korea, advanced delivery services and online shopping transactions, meaning that with these advanced delivery services, online retailers can meet the demand of their customers. So the demand can be on time, and especially upholding the concept of mimpian, which means that to avoid of being inconvenienced to others. Next, Japan. Retail shops put in restrictions on certain items, especially toilet paper, until the Japan Tissue Association had to put out a statement regarding the supply will be adequate. Next, government announced food supply status early before the emergency period. So the Japanese citizens know that there will be enough supply of 3.7 tons of rice. And lastly, United Kingdom. The chain supermarkets and online retailers work together to regulate essentials such as dried pasta, dried milk, powdered milk, and canned food. By increasing food supply by adding more warehouses, the UK supply had shifted from just in time to just in case to accommodate the demand. This is shown that 11.96 trillion Korean won has the amount increase in online shopping transactions. It shows that the success of Korea in the advanced delivery system. The chain supermarkets and pharmacy in UK that has tackled the panic buying situation are Asda, Red Rose, Tesco and Boots. And lastly, the counteracting the spread of misinformation and assumptions that contributes to the panic buying behavior, the behavior of panic buying. So we need to know what contributes to the behavior. Why does it happen? Because it acts as a coping mechanism, just as Sophia said earlier, that people tend to lose control during the situations such as COVID-19. Therefore, to gain control in something in your life, it acts as a coping mechanism. Second, how to counteract this kind of problem behavior, we need to spread constant reminders to the public. Messages that are short but impactful to let the public know the consequences of panic buying, because low income groups tend to be the victims of panic buying because they need to plan out their grocery shopping compared to other income groups that can buy every single day. Second, don't spread any media posts on panic buying, because this media posts can increase the anxiety and panic among citizens. So therefore, MCMC, the Malaysian Communication Media Commission, needs to work together and monitor the amount of media that is spreading around through the internet and social media, because Facebook can also certainly ban the content that is inappropriate. And lastly, constant assurance by the government and retailers that because individuals need trust the government and the retailers need to put trust in the individuals, therefore that they know that the situation is under control. These are some of the pictures, such as the constant reminders by the MKN on towards panic buying, and the right side is some of the pictures that are shared throughout WhatsApp that cause anxiety. As a conclusion, we need to know that we need to understand the issue beforehand of panic buying, the causes, the factors, and because we want to avoid the same situation happening every single time there is a MCO period. because uh, we don't want to affect the lower income groups. And also, we need to follow other countries as benchmark, just not only depending on our government policies, because those countries have successfully tackled panic buying situation. And lastly, as the public, we cannot fully depend on the government to tackle this situation because it works on our behavior also. So we need to work together to overcome panic buying. With that, I thank you.